Well, it's that time of the year again. We're all breaking our cars out for the springtime, and I've been waiting all winter, man. This actually hasn't been too bad of a winter, but I love driving my car, and I couldn't wait to get back in it again. The first thing I did, though, was make sure I got a current appraisal with my insurance company. There's a number of different insurance companies out there that that insure these old classic cars, and Continental is one of them. A very good company. I recommend them. My customers have been very satisfied with them. Check those guys out, among others that are out there. But what is it that I look at? Because I've been appraising cars for probably 15 years now, and it seems like every appraiser has their own thing they look at. I'm going to give you the specifics of what I look at. The first thing I do is, if a car comes to me like this old 65 coupe is, I identify what it is first. There's no sense in looking at the quality of the car if you can't identify that the car is what it is. And on these cars, they had a tag on the driver's door. This is a really nice information tag. It not only has the VIN number, but it has axle codes, transmission codes, paint codes, even the date of manufacturing is on this little tag. That's a really nice tag to have. What's the problem with that tag? Well, early on in these cars' lives, if they got hit in the side, that door would end up coming off the car, and then the body shop will get a junkyard door, put that door on the car, and the old tag is now in the garbage with the original bashed up door. So the next thing I'll do is I'll make sure that tag matches the guy's registration card for his license plates and his title. That's very important. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It's just that it's one more piece of the puzzle. It's not going to make sense. The other place that the VIN number is, on a lot of cars, it's on the windshield area there, below the windshield. But on these early cars, it's underneath the hood. There's a little cutout in the fender area here, and it's right there on the fender. It better be there. If it's not there and the tag on the door doesn't match, you got some big problems going on. But I'll decode that too. I'll make sure that that number there reflects a 65 coupe with a 6-cylinder engine in it, and if it does, then I move on from there. Next thing I'll do is I'll start checking numbers on the engine itself. There's all sorts of numbers on these engines. I'll write those down and I'll decode those. This one here tells me that that's probably the original exhaust manifold to this car from day one. Then I'll get underneath the car, take a look at the floor pans, take a look at the frames. See, my eye will pick up on whether these things have been manipulated or whether they've been crushed and then pulled apart on some sort of frame machine, whether they're the original or have been cut out and re-welded. Another issue with these cars is that a lot of them have had quarter panels put on them. And on the inside of the trunk, if it's been skinned, you might see a seam right over here. So I'll open up the trunk and I'll stick my head up inside there and I'll look to see if there's a seam there. If there's a seam there, not the end of the world, because the quarter panel's been replaced and it's probably all metal, but it's just one less thing that makes it that authentic as far as originality goes, because it didn't have that seam to begin with. Among other things, like the integrity of the engine, the integrity of the transmission, the next thing I'll go to is maybe take it for a little test drive. See how the thing drives down the road. Because you can spend different degrees of money on these appraisals. You can spend as little as $75, you can spend as much as $175 or more on them. The more you spend on them, the more intense it's going to be, and the more that's going to be filled out and the more elaborate this form is going to be. So the lesson to be learned here is, first thing, get an insurance appraisal going on your car. Get together with a quality classic insurance company to make sure that they're going to insure your car for what you want. Because the last thing you want is something like this to happen and you don't have any insurance on it.